Hello and welcome to HawkTalk. It's my Hawk's Geek Culture podcast where we talk about geek stuff, nerdy stuff, and all sorts of awesome. My name is Danny Shepard, and joining me as always is my lovable band of goons, starting with Noel Shefflin,
Who it is, Amy?
Jeremy Lee,
That young.
and Tony Smith.
What it do, baby boo?
And coming back is Angela DeMonico at Lady Doombots herself.
Sai Nina Kinda Dody Chody.
Baby, come back.
Donut shorty.
If you guys like the show and you want to see us make more shows like this and other shows that we are currently working on, lots of them, support us over on Patreon. And it goes a long way. If you got a couple extra bucks to spend, helps us out a lot. The whole adpocalypse, we're being affected by it too. So let's just jump right into it today.
Dive right into it.
So there's a lot of news going on right now. A lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff happening.
A lot of things.
Stuff and things.
What's happening?
You didn't hear about the Han Solo movie?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Whoa.
That is not good.
I mean,
Yeesh.
yeah.
That movie has seen better days. Actually, I don't know if it has.
No, that's the thing. We don't even know if it has. It's yet to even be brought into this world, and it's already not working.
I haven't even seen a trailer, and I'm already scared.
So share with me what you shared. No, share with the group what you shared with me earlier, Danny, because I didn't even know this until today, so I don't know if it was like super new news.
I'm pulling up the article so I can actually quote it.
Gotcha.
For reference.
So, I guess if you guys haven't heard, the directors of the Han Solo movie have left.
No. They got fired.
They got fired.
They didn't just
Wait,
leave. They got
so
fired.
Was it fired or left?
They got fired.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wasn't it like creative differences? Creative differences?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Differences.
So I heard about this the other day, just in passing. Someone was like, "Hey, did you hear the Han Solo directors got fired?" And I was like,
Wait,
"What?
Wait, what?
They got
hold
fired? Are they done shooting?"
Nope.
No, they're not done shooting.
Couple weeks out.
And
Couple weeks out from finishing.
Couple weeks from
God.
finishing, or couple weeks they just started. Couple weeks.
couple weeks.
until they're finished.
Oh, well,
Until
that's
they're
not that
finished
bad.
shooting.
I mean,
that's...
it's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad. Like it could be worse. I mean,
How?
I don't know, man. I think it's worse if you get fired like towards the end of the shoot day because now you have all this work and you're not attached to it
For
anymore.
nothing,
Now I have to
yeah.
fucking try and figure everything else out.
Yeah. Yep.
Filming is almost completed, and then they hire a completely new director to finish the rest.
Yeah,
They have
like
to take
what?
all the stuff that they didn't make and have to make a film out of it. Like,
Oh boy.
So what else?
Because
Danny?
also
Oh,
another piece of detail, they also fired the editor.
oh, yeah, we were
Oh,
talking about that earlier
even-
today.
Even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Oh.
Yeah,
I
so-
I can see more and more why Harrison Ford was like, just kill me off. Just kill me off.
I'm done.
New details emerge, and this is from the Hollywood Reporter. New details emerge from the set of the troubled Han Solo movie. An editor fired, a last-minute acting coach hired, as insiders debate whether problems traced to directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller, or if Disney and Lucasfilm. If the Disney and Lucasfilm series can accommodate divergent styles. So,
A last minute acting coach?
last minute acting coach. So apparently,
That's a little concerning as well.
they were
Whoa.
on set in the Millennium Falcon. Didn't start shooting until 1 p.m. It doesn't even specify when they started shooting, so that's a bit vague. But it says that they only shot 3 different setups. So for those who don't know, that's like
Not a lot.
basically 3 different setups for the camera, 3 different areas, positions
Yeah,
the camera is put
that's
in.
usually like you're just jumping in for the day.
Mhm.
It's still fresh.
Yeah, you put the camera here.
Everyone
you get
still
a
has
shot.
their cup of coffee. That's how early it is.
Jeez.
Put the camera over to the left, get the reverse, and then there you go. That's 3. They were expected to be doing 12 or 15, apparently, according to as opposed to the 12 to 15 that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy had expected them to be shooting. So I guess this isn't the first time that they have gotten into a bit of a tussle
Wow.
That's a great word. That's another great word. Tussle.
Tussle
Okay.
with specifically
Hashtag.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Hashtag tussle.
This keeps happening with
Yeah.
these movies. Like it happened with Rogue One. It's happening with this one. Like it's a little.
But Rogue
bit-
One ended up good.
Yeah.
True. Although I'm really interested to see what edit they did not like. That super violent one that they didn't
But
want to get released. Like,
I don't
would
know.
love to see that.
The moment you mentioned the 3 setups and then they were expecting 12 sounds. I don't know if it's the way it's worded or if it's implying that the directors weren't trying to stay on schedule. Like, I'd be pissed too if I was a producer of a multi-million-dollar movie and you're supposed to do 12 setups that day and you only gotten 3 so
True.
far.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money
And didn't
wasted.
shoot till like 1 p.m.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need 12 set at least. You said 12 to 15, man. You got to start. You got to
That's an
get
early
up.
day,
Yeah,
folks.
you got to get up early, man. That's
Very
man.
true.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but like it's kind of happened to us before. But like that's the thing. It's like we don't know what happened. We don't know all of the details here. Like, what if they had some kind of costume mishap, which never happens to us?
Yeah,
I don't know
that's not a
anything about
thing.
costume mishaps. What are those?
Yeah.
like,
But I
it
mean,
never happens
that's
to us.
that's the thing. If it happened once, then yeah, it's cool. It sucks, but we'll figure it out. We'll reschedule whatever, and then move on. Because a movie this big generally has at least 100 production days. So if you're already 2 weeks out from finishing production, and you got fired because of that, you know there's a lot more leading up to it.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like stack the chips till they fall type of situation.
Yeah. The straw that finally broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder what it was.
Yeah. I'm just like reviewing the article again just to kind of
Oh, okay.
just remind myself of what I had read. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. We should just post the link so people can check it out on their own. It's pretty intense. Like, I mean, it's very, very interesting that the dirty laundry from this shoot is just being aired out in the open like this. Like, this is really crazy stuff. I don't remember
company-
this happening ever.
Yeah,
It hasn't. Like as long as I've can remember, I don't remember a movie firing its directors before the direct like that. That's all.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
It says that
usually
Kathleen
happens right before the movie is made, and then the movie doesn't get made for a year.
Yeah. They're saying that Kathleen Kennedy was like, from what it looks like, she was trying to reach a compromise, but another, and I quote, they had, where is it? Dang, I just scrolled past it. So, and I quote, this comes from, who does this come from? Deep, fundamental, philosophical differences in filmmaking styles, says an inside source. And the directors felt they were being given zero creative freedom. They also felt they were being asked to operate under extreme scheduling constraints and were never given enough days for each scene from the very beginning, end quote.
Whoa.
So,
Wow.
but it also says that that Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, and Kennedy with the like the backing of the Disney studio chief, Alan Horn, agreed to let them go. Wow! And I guess there was a meeting that was happening, and there was a standing ovation, like room full of applause when they said that. I guess they said that that the two directors were being let go, and it was like a really somber meeting, and then everybody applauds when they found out they were getting another director. Who that other director was announced to be Ron Howard. So Ron Howard's coming in to finish the movie. So there's a lot here. You guys should definitely check this
Yeah.
out and
I'm
read it for
gonna check it out,
yourself.
too.
Yeah, I want to read it because I feel like I don't have much to say because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
I feel bad for everyone
Oh my
involved.
God.
Yeah, it
Yeah, this
sucks.
sounds awful.
Yeah,
I wonder. Well, I can understand that kind of fundamental differences in style of shooting.
Totally.
Because it takes a different kind of style of shooting to keep up with the huge Hollywood studio production schedule.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not for everyone. Definitely different styles of shooting.
Totally right.
Let me ask you guys this. You know, this isn't the first time we've heard of this happening. This isn't the first time we've heard of this happening at Disney.
But this is the first time, at least for me, I've heard of something like this happening because of scheduling.
I mean, it sounded like creative differences were the
Yeah,
catalyst
they
to this,
weren't
and
given a lot of
scheduling
creative
was
freedom.
Just happened to be one of the things.
I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. Like scheduling was on there. That was definitely something that probably pissed Disney off. But
This seemed very human to me. It seemed like this was a very human reaction, almost kind of like them. To me, it sounds like directors that have been feeling like they've been mistreated, trying to get back at the studio, like trying to waste money. I hate to say on purpose, but almost kind of like, no, I'm going to take my time today because this happened. Almost like, because it sounds like a human reaction to not feeling
Appreciated.
not just appreciated, not being fulfilled, not feeling fulfilled.
Heard.
Yeah, not being
Yeah.
able to express themselves
Exactly. They're not
creatively.
feeling fulfilled here. So it's almost like you have to look at it in like a psychological way that parents look at kids. Why is this kid acting out? They don't feel fulfilled. They feel like they're not something's not satisfying them right now. So it's like they're trying to get back. That's what it sounds like to me. And it was almost like what Angie said earlier, like, oh, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. And the studio is just waiting, like, don't do it. Don't you do it.
Nope.
Don't do it, because we will fire you. And that's
think we're
exactly
playing?
what happened.
I don't care how far into the movie we are in
God.
filming.
I will fire you. Yeah, that's what it's.
God.
That's kind of like what it sounds to me. It's almost like when you get that warning, like, from the leadership, and they're like, "Hey, yo, don't do that again. Okay, we're good. Don't do it again."
So
Love you.
hopefully I'm assuming they're gonna push the release date back. Does the article say anything about that or no?
I didn't see anything like that, but I could have just missed it.
I wonder if they're gonna do that or if they're expediting all of this so quickly so that they can meet the release date.
I would be very, very uncomfortable if I was working on this
I mean,
project.
they were
yeah.
really
From-
quick to bring in Ron Howard.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it seems like they were talking about it ahead of time, and
yeah.
then they just.
That's why it's like too. Like that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons for me thinking, they were waiting. Like they were waiting for these guys to do something
They're already
else.
planning.
Or for something else to happen, and they were just like, "Hey, look, just based off of the experiences that have everybody had, it's probably best that we just part ways and we bring someone else on because it's like this
Not
is Ron
just
Howard.
anyone.
Yeah, it's Ron Howard. You guys like
It's Ron Howard.
Ron
It's
Howard
not
isn't just
anyone.
waiting for someone to be like, "Hey, yo, these guys, we
Hey,
fired
you guys
them."
wanted up and
Yeah.
coming? Here, you got your chance. You're fucking it up. Sorry, here's Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they hired directors who may not have been super experienced in this world, who maybe were used to having a bit more creative freedom, and then you enter the Disney machine, and
Yeah.
Disney wants to put out what Disney wants to put out.
This juggernaut.
And like that's kind of the industry, you know. It's like these powerhouses want to control the message that is being sent in their films, and that seems like from reading the article, it seems like these directors, like apparently they were shouting out lines to the actors saying like, how about like something like this, and changing the script up, and the screenwriter was not stoked.
Damn.
Not stoked. So apparently, like they have a very controlled. It
Environment.
sounds like there's a very controlled vision, which I mean, like, you know, when you're working on your own productions and you're being, you know, you're just trying to be creative and you're in the moment trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
Like
Just trying different things.
trying
That's
different
cool.
things, seeing what works.
Yeah.
But even for me, I don't know if I have the balls to try that.
I would
on
not
a
have the
Disney
balls to do
set.
that.
Not on a Disney set.
we-
Like
No.
you can improvise.
Yeah, dude.
No,
like,
yeah.
we've worked
Oh,
with
God.
other writers before, and we're like, Danny was directing. He's like, we are sticking to this. This is what we are doing
Yeah.
because.
And if you want to try
Yes.
something different, yeah, it's cool. Turn around and ask, or like, you know,
yeah,
But on
Like,
our
yeah.
sets, it's like we like to let the actors.
yeah. And it's always a compromise, and there's always some way to figure things out. But on a Disney set,
it's different.
in
man.
a
Yeah.
well-oiled machine, part of a huge multi-billion-dollar franchise that needs to be a certain way, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
this
don't-
is this
It's
is
a little risky.
This is a studio that has like their movies for the next 5 years already planned out. Like there's really not a whole lot of room to just like be imaginative and try something new. Like they
least-
already know what they
At
want.
least not on set. Maybe like in the writing room. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's try to reevaluate this going back. Maybe you have to
Or
do
even
some kind
just
of
trying
reshoot.
things stylistically, not changing the dialogue. One of the things that I learned, or at least I heard a lot in film school, is that when you're in screenwriting or you're on set, the writer writes dialogue a certain way for a reason.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see it at the moment, it's always written for a reason. So when you're changing it, you're changing the intention of the writer.
Mm-hmm. There are certain lines that even in our shorts and videos and stuff we worked on, I like to let the actors kind of just go in and try different things and like throw stuff out and see what works. But there's certain lines that I'm just like, you got to say it just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a reason it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a cue. It's what they call cue.
Yeah.
Like, what's your cue in this scene?
yeah. And David O. Russell is one of those directors who's like, you read one of his scripts, you saw his movie. Because it is
verbatim. Yeah.
really close.
Yeah.
Like really
Tarantino?
damn close.
Tarantino too.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
God, isn't David O. Russell the guy that like will like stare at you while you're reading a line? Like wasn't
He's
he like
the guy who got punched in the face by George Clooney.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So he was
Danny
the one
Ocean
that
knocked him out.
Yeah, so there was the scene in Silver Linings Playbook where they're in the diner. Apparently, David O. Russell for Jennifer Lawrence, because Jennifer likes to improv, I guess.
Yeah.
She kind of likes to go with it. And she's very good at she's an entertainer actress. She entertains because I think she's theater trained. So she was trying to improv this scene. It's that one where she like freaks out. She like does that fake laugh and like walks out, which by the way, she won an Academy Award for. David, I guess to a point where she was deviating from the script so much that he said, no, you need to say it like this. And he sat and he laid next to her in the booth. And
Jeez.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
Talk about micromanaging.
No.
Jesus.
It's like a chapter no.
Oh my God.
That really
How
happened?
stressful.
Yeah, that's a rumor that I've heard that he like laid in the he
Dang.
was
I
sitting
mean, that
like
sounds like something he would do.
Yeah.
Absolutely does.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
He is an intense man, they say.
Hey man, I think that's cool. I guess it's your project, so hey,
Speaking of
boo-boo.
directors, before we move on from this topic, I'm really curious to see how this directing credit is going to end up with this Han Solo movie, because that really depends on how much they shot. Because if they're like
3/4
4
apparently.
months, yeah, but you were saying that apparently they only got so many shots instead of these shots, so I can only imagine how behind they were because of that. But still, if they're like several months into filming,
What do you
like, are you gonna scrap the whole movie? Are you
That's
gonna?
so
It's gonna be directed
God.
by 3 different people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Ugh.
if they're in front of a green screen, you just need to get the actors in a room. And it seemed like
Ron Howard comes in, reshoots everything.
I imagine they're gonna
This is
reshoot.
garbage.
Damn.
Yeah,
No,
that's
they're
why
gonna
they do a lot.
reshoot a good.
They're gonna
amount.
They fired the editor too. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. It's like, all right, you guys are cleaning house.
yeah.
My question
Yeah.
is, guys, if like, what do you do? Like, do you give them credit? Like, I don't.
Yeah, you give them credit.
Yeah.
They directed 3/4 of the movie. They got it started. Ron Howard's picking up the pieces,
so you
and
go
he should be credited as well. but, like,
co-director for Ron Howard, and there was directed by them. That's
I
That
don't know.
sucks.
I
I guess it
directed
really depends
by-
on how the movie ends up. Like,
yeah,
Jeez.
what shots they use, how they use them. God,
yeah, because you have a guy who was literally you have 2 guys who were there for pre-production and 3/4 of production. Well, they're probably going to shoot about half of what they shot, right? So then you have Ron Howard coming in for all of post and then half of production. So technically, you could argue that by the end of the day, these guys would have shot half of the movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Depending on how much is left, yeah.
mm-hmm.
How much there is still to do.
God.
I mean, the work is work.
Yeah.
So I imagine in the credits, it'll just be listing 3 names.
Directed by, or would they go directed by these 2, co-directed by Ron Howard?
No, I think
No,
it'd be
there's
directed
no
by-
co-directing.
Yeah.
yeah. That
Co-directing is if they're on set at the same time.
So no, yeah, you're right.
So if a production
Phil-
lists out directed by and then lists out the different names, sometimes with an ampersand in the middle, because ampersand kind of implies that, oh, these people, they did that work, but separately.
okay,
So it'll be
That's tricky.
Be name and ampersand Ron Howard.
That's what I'm thinking.
Word.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. This entire thing is nuts. And it seems like Kathleen Kennedy and Disney were trying to work it out, but they just had fundamentally
out.
different views of how this thing should turn out. And that's crazy, man. I hope that this movie,
I hope it's good.
I hope they can Rogue One it.
God, they were
and
doing so well with the casting and God, just releasing the information about it. And then it's just like hey, so we fired these guys. So yeah.
So
Here's what happened. There you go.
Jeez,
Oh,
man.
boy.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
I feel
So-
bad for whoever's going to go in and edit that.
Yeah, something that you're so impartial to, just all of this just footage that was intended to be used by people that aren't around anymore. You're just like,
How do I use
what was I supposed to do? How did you want this?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I just I forgot to mention this. So when we were talking about the screen, the writing credit, so I guess Lawrence Kasdan was like, they need to say it word for word, right? So what I didn't mention is that the two directors would have the actors say it exactly how it's written, and then they would take a different take and let the actors improv. And they said that I guess the improvisational style was for to benefit like comedy and to bring out the actor's best performance. And so that's probably what slowed down production, is that you're
Right.
doing all these additional takes when you probably didn't need to. So
yeah,
interesting, man.
very interesting. We'll
That's-
see
yeah,
what
I don't-
happens.
Yeah.
It hurts my head.
I don't even know like who's in the right and who's in the wrong. It really just seems like a difference of opinion more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably really hard to explain if you're not in the situation. You know, it's
like if you weren't there.
yeah, if like you
Yeah.
weren't there and you weren't the one, if you're not the one experiencing it on the
know.
inside, then it's probably really hard to explain, like without sounding really general. Like
Yeah.
it really is just we have different opinions and we need to move separately. That's probably hopefully that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of like PR plays into it too, where like no one's gonna really probably say what it truly was. Like, creative
Yeah,
differences.
they
Just
won't.
leave it at that. Like, well,
They're saying exactly what it was in this article. They are not sugarcoating and it looks like sources are backing both sides. So like there are people who on both sides of the argument who are speaking pretty objectively here.
Damn.
I'd have
Yeah.
to read the article.
Very interesting. Definitely check that out, guys. Any final notes on that?
Is that link going to be like in the description? Or,
Yes,
Okay.
Jeremy, I will text it to you. Throw it in the description.
Beans.
So, on a lighter note, so we had a conversation recently, and we were talking about what our like top fives of certain films and are in the certain genres in the film, I guess. And the pantheon of films that exist. I am so like out of
God.
it, dude. I'm still like
Dude, I
recovering
hear,
from
man.
this
You want
trip.
some of this?
No, I already.
It's from the gods.
And that's not true.
No
It is.
peat in it.
It's literally from my Keurig machine.
No, it isn't, man.
I am a god.
It's from the gods of the coffee. The gods.
Keurig
fees.
gods.
The god fees.
Akira Keurig sour. Okay, so let's so we wanted to go through our top list of favorite sci-fi movies,
top five.
comedy movies, action movies, animated movies,
Hell yeah.
and our top 5 favorite actresses and actors. Now these aren't who we think are
The best.
like, yeah, these we don't believe that these are the best in existence. These are just our favorites, our go-tos, the movies that we really enjoy
Yeah.
watching. So,
Our personal faves.
yeah, what should we start with? Sci-fi?
Yeah, let's start with sci-fi.
Wanna
Did
start-
everyone write a list, or is it just me?
We
'Cause
all wrote lists.
Okay,
Dude,
good. Because I
everybody
suck
better
at
use
favorites.
that note section in our way.
Yeah, we couldn't do this. People always ask our top 5 whatever list, and
top five.
you know, it takes a lot of thought. And I know mine's gonna change.
Yeah, I'm always one of those people that like you ask me what my favorite thing was, and then I tell you, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, damn it, no, it was this other thing that I totally forgot till just now, and I always beat myself up. So it was a good thing I wrote a list because I was like, okay, now I can't forget, but knowing me, I'll probably still forget something. So
Totes.
whatever.
Why don't you start us off, Mr. Lee?
Oh, me. So, should we read off all the movies first and then kind of just talk about it?
Yeah.
Or just okay,
Sure.
cool. So, my top 5 sci-fi movies. No particular order. They're just in the,
Yeah,
the
same goes
list.
for me.
Yeah. So,
course.
Interstellar, Star Wars Episode 4, Terminator 2, Sunshine, and The Matrix.
Oh,
Nice.
really quick. I'm sorry. Just to preface the rules that we gave each other.
Right.
We specifically made a rule where we can only pick one movie from each franchise. So, like, if it's Lord of the Rings, you can only pick one Lord of the Rings film, and that way, because we would end up just filling up our entire thing with like
Star Wars.
sequels and stuff. So,
My whole list would be Star Wars.
I mean, there's a lot of sequels where I was like, I'm gonna have to choose my favorite right now.
Yeah.
All right, so Sunshine, Interstellar,
Interstellar.
Episode 4.
Yep. Terminator 2, and The Matrix.
Nice.
Top 5
We have a little
Nice.
crossover.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is on mine too.
I like to cross over these
crossing
universe
over,
side.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I list them all, and then I talk about it, and then we all.
Yeah. Do you want to
Okay.
talk about why you made those decisions?
Okay. So each one of these movies I picked just because it's influenced or changed my way of thinking of that genre.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that's how I thought of how to pick a movie for this list. Sunshine specifically just because it was so tense.
Oh my god.
It's
Yeah.
a different kind of sci-fi.
It's
Yeah,
It's
we-
like
oh.
straight up thriller horror sci-fi, and
Yes.
the atmosphere building in it is so good. And the reason it's on the sci-fi list is because, and not on like, I didn't consider it action or whatever.
Yeah.
Just sci-fi in general is because of the way that they portrayed their mission or like the science in their universe.
Yes.
Like it makes sense. It's grand and it's crazy, but it still kind of makes sense if
It's hella science fiction, dude.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all space oriented.
It's
yeah,
sciences.
it's hella science
Yeah.
fiction.
Yeah.
So I could have put that in like top 5. No, that's not a good example. The Matrix. That's in my sci-fi list instead of my action list.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, sci-fi specifically for The Matrix is because it's, first of all, it is hella sci-fi, but the way that it made me think about how other, like, it's not a normal sci-fi movie
No.
at all. It's like almost film noir type, like German expressionism type filmmaking, except packaged in an action movie that just happens to be in a sci-fi universe. And that's my favorite part about it.
Nice.
That was a good explanation, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Wars Episode 4, specifically for sci-fi and not any of the other categories, is because it was one of the first movies where I'm like, oh shit, this is like real life, but the future, and it feels real. Like it looks real and grounded, and it's a used future. And that aspect of sci-fi is really cool because everyone thinks, or most of the time when you talk sci-fi, it's like, oh, big, shiny ships and aliens and stuff like that. But it was more than that, just that. Interstellar, kind of same way. Yeah. Terminator 2. Oh, shit. So,
Judgment Day.
So good.
holy
Oh,
crap.
I love that movie so much.
Like, it's just a good, heavy story that's just wrapped, that just happens to be in a sci-fi package. And my favorite genre is sci-fi too, so that kind of already stepped the bar up. But it was, I think, one of the first times where I saw. So Terminator 1 was cool. The T900 was dope, but it was still animatronics and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Terminator 2 came out in T1000 model, just liquefied metal. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? When I was a kid, the first time I saw that,
so dope.
dude, the first time I saw that as a kid, I was like, what the heck? These
Dude.
visual effects, I didn't know that was possible.
So
That's
cool.
crazy.
I remember as a kid just being like, I want a Terminator. Like, I want
want a
that.
Terminator?
Like, yeah, I want my own Terminator. Like,
Terminator.
my homie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
Terminate.
cool.
Yeah, no,
Protect
but
you.
I remember specifically, that was one of the first times where I thought specifically of a character being just like, it's,
A cheat
Fro-
code.
up until then, it seemed like when you're trying to make a sci-fi movie, you were just making compromises to make it look like sci-fi. That was the moment where I was like, holy shit, this is a straight up real looking sci-fi. Like, I believe it.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Obviously, it's
Yeah.
dated now, but At the time, I was like, holy shit. That changed my perspective of what sci-fi was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my list.
Cool.
Right on.
All right. So my favorite sci-fi movies.
Yes.
I would probably say this is in order, but if we'll just say it's out of order since that seems to be the route that we're going. Interstellar, Sunshine, Star Wars Episode 4.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But this is where it gets different. Mr. Nobody
Okay.
and Arrival.
Dope.
Arrival.
oh, I
Dope.
never saw Arrival.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that.
Arrival was
Never did.
good, guys.
Arrival is
I
hella
have not
good.
seen either
Yeah.
of those last two.
Dude,
so.
Arrival was like.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last
Okay.
two.
So, quick question. The 3 movies that are the same compared to my list, why are they...
Why are they my favorite on
Is
mine?
it different from my reason?
For Sunshine, pretty much the same reason. The building of the movie and like how freaking ridiculously intense it was. I also really appreciated that there was no stupid characters.
Yes.
They were all
Yeah.
smart. You may
Absolutely.
disagree
Yeah.
with the character, but there's no dumb characters.
Nope.
Even the coward
Exactly.
Yeah.
wasn't stupid.
Wait, who-
Everyone
who-
was like
who-
justifiable.
The Sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't
You gotta
seen
see
it.
Sunshine.
Yeah,
bro.
that's why.
I know.
It's so intense.
He just.
Yeah, oh,
Danny
God, that
just
movie-
watched this and was like, dude, I just watched Sunshine. Shit.
It was like one of the most stressful film experiences I have ever had. Like the whole time I was like gripping the couch, like
Dude, Neutron
can't.
Star
Yeah.
was it
Literally.
like a decimal point?
Literally.
Just like just clenching.
Yeah, it was. It was something
Okay.
else. Like just the way the sun was. Like the sun was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, when
Yeah.
the guy could just get. Just,
The sun
I don't
is
wanna
its own
spoil it,
character.
but yeah.
And
Oh,
the sun
God.
is a scary
It,
character.
the
Yeah.
sun was OP.
Sunshine was a horror
Yes.
movie, bro.
sun
if
was
I had
OP.
if I had a top horror movie list,
God.
Sunshine would be in my horror
Well,
movie list.
Yeah, 'cause, like at the end, like that last. It gets scary. All I'm saying. It just gets scary at the end.
Just
Not
making
saying
sure.
anything. It just gets
Actually-
scary at the end.
I replace Interstellar with Aliens.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy
That makes me
shit.
happy. For sci-fi though, for sci-fi,
Yeah, for
huh?
sci-fi.
That's one of the ugliest
Not for
things I've
action.
ever done.
Okay.
Aliens
I liked it.
for sci-fi.
Okay.
Just because it completely destroyed the entire trope of sci-fi movies being macho men type action movies.
Yes.
And a strong female lead could still do the same way, do the
Yes.
same thing, but it wasn't written in a way where, oh, I wrote a male character and just replaced it with a female lead. You know? Because there's certain things about that character in that lead position that made her a woman and
yeah.
not.
Mom?
It made
Yeah,
her a mother.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to do and play with those same themes if it was a male lead instead.
Yeah.
And that was
Damn, man.
Yeah,
so that's why.
it wouldn't have worked the same way.
Yeah.
Like given the one of the main characters. So this whole thing is spoiler free, right? Just so I'm aware.
Fair.
All
Yeah.
of these. Okay.
Yeah.
Even no matter
Because
how
we're
old
just
the
talking
movie
because
is.
we're just talking
mean,
about how we
'cause
feel about it, not
Okay.
like
If
about
we're-
the movie.
Because Aliens is pretty old, so I don't know like what I'm allowed to spoil, what I'm not allowed
I mean,
to
I
spoil.
haven't seen it, so if you want to spoil it for me, but if you want to spoil something, just say spoiler alert. We'll go on a movie by movie basis.
Okay, that's fair.
So Interstellar, because it. Oh man, that was a spiritual experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it
it
was.
changed
Yes,
me
it was.
Oh,
as a
absolutely.
Yeah.
human being, as a filmmaker, as
I
everything.
look at the universe differently because of Interstellar, and it's like
Totally.
all makes sense. It's almost like, oh yeah, obviously it's gonna look like that, and not how I had it in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie was like to me like Inception meets 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like it
Yeah.
was so cool.
Totally.
I loved it.
And I also loved that the love story was between a father and his daughter. It was that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, Interstellar, man.
Yeah, dude. I watched it with this guy and he was
Yeah,
tripping.
boy.
Yeah.
I wasn't just tripping. I was a mess, guys. I was a mess, dude. I just like Indy was what, like 6 months old?
Something
and
like that.
that scene.
Oh, where he's watching the video.
I was like, I like sat back and looked at Noel. I was like, God damn you.
Aw.
Murph.
God damn you.
Dude,
You call my
Jessica-
friend. You call me.
Jessica
your friend.
Jessica Chastain was such a badass
Oh,
in
she
that
was
movie,
so
though.
good.
She
Yeah,
was
she
like
was.
right from the beginning. I was like, I like her character. Like when she was a
Hell
little
yeah.
girl, I was like, she's a badass.
Yeah,
I like
right.
her. Yeah,
It's got a little
yeah.
fire.
I liked
Yeah,
her
a
from the
little
get go.
fire.
Kissed by Fire.
yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She was
Also
redhead
Kissed by
and
Fire.
everything.
Star Wars Episode 4, because the same things you said, it feels like a lived-in, occupied universe. It doesn't feel like a brand new, fresh future, even though technically it's in the past, actually. And also because that was one of the first movies that I saw a like really what I thought was going to be a very important figure in Star Wars just die. I was like, oh, so there he goes. I thought he was going to survive.
Goodbye.
Before George
was
R. R.
gonna
Martin
do
did it, your boy Lucas did it.
Yep. There
And
you
he
go.
did it like really, really early.
He couldn't be outdone. He couldn't be outdone.
Arrival, because like Interstellar, it also changed me as a person. And I really enjoyed that it was a very, very strong female-led. It was also an unconventional love story at its core. The atmosphere, the way it is the most unique alien invasion movie that's ever been made.
Dude, it is trippy as fuck.
Yeah,
I want to
dude.
watch it. Oh,
Dude,
man.
Oh my
be
God.
Oh, you watched it?
prepared.
Yeah.
As Scar once said.
Oh boy.
He actually sang it, but be prepared.
Be prepared.
Yes, dude.
Jeremy Irons. Dude. Mr. Nobody, because that movie was absolute insanity. So for those who don't know what this movie's about, it's about this kid who is kind of like right in the middle of his parents getting a divorce, and he has to choose between whether he stays with his mom or he goes away with his dad who's leaving. And the movie is about this. It takes place in the future, and it's about the last mortal person alive, and he's telling his story from that moment on, except he's exploring all different options. So the movie is kind of like, I never had to make the choice. These are all the lives that I lived.
What?
And like you're trying, and like the whole movie you're trying to figure out like which one is the actual life that he lived, that like it's a trippy
so it's
movie.
intercutting between each other.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's
That sounds
trippy.
crazy.
It's trippy as
Jared
hell.
Leto movie, right?
Yeah.
How would you set that up? How would you set that up? What?
Yeah, dude.
Just
Wait,
watch
wait.
the movie. Just watch the movie.
It's so crazy. It's one of the craziest concepts that I've ever seen. Now, and it was done pretty well, and it made you ask questions. So that's why I like that movie.
Okay.
And that's my top 5 sci-fi.
Top five.
All right, so I'll do mine next.
Do it.
So I left out a lot of really major franchises intentionally, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that, because I wanted to kind of get an opportunity to talk about some like movies that I feel like maybe we don't get to talk about very much on the podcast. So just bear that in mind. Like
did.
Star Wars and Lord of the Rings have been like omitted from all my selections. So for top 5 sci-fi, I picked Alien, Terminator 2, The Fifth Element, District 9, and John Carpenter's The Thing.
District 9 was like a very
Yeah.
like honorable mention. I couldn't
Yeah.
quite make in that top 5.
Oh,
God,
The
it's-
Fifth Element was my 6th.
Yeah,
Get it?
Oh, I see what you did.
It was very close. It was
Yeah, that-
very close.
Very
So-
solid choice.
So why these movies?
So I don't know. Like with Alien, I felt like this one was. I feel like Alien kind of teeters on the edge of being both like a horror and a sci-fi movie. So like
sure.
I see it more actually as a horror movie than a sci-fi movie. But again,
Oh,
it's
totally.
I loved that whole idea of the strong female protagonist, Sigourney Weaver just being like a badass the whole time. So that movie was very inspirational to me when I was growing up.
Was also a terrifying alien.
Yes.
Also really
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Like very impressive
dude.
effects.
Yeah, the
Dude,
xenomorphs
so
are freaking
impressive.
dope.
Yeah.
I love
That
them. They're cool.
haunted me.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yep.
Terminator 2 for a lot of the same reasons that I think Jeremy was talking about earlier, where it was just kind of like seeing that movie as a child, like just really blew my mind in terms of like what could be done in movies. I don't know, just a lot of badass action in that. I feel like I can't really give these like in-depth like filmmaker perspectives because I'm not
it's
a
totally
filmmaker,
cool.
so I apologize in advance. I'm
You're
not like
fine.
as
No.
deep about it, but just in a movie I really enjoyed. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance in it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The Fifth Element, like I can say the world in that movie is insane. Like the world they create in that,
Yeah.
like oh my gosh, like Bruce Willis and Gary Oldman and what
Oh,
Tucker.
dude, Gary
Chris
Oldman.
Tucker. Who's
Yeah.
the female?
I forgot her
actress?
name.
Mila
What's her name?
Jovovich.
Mila
Thank you.
Jovovich, yeah, she's awesome too. So just loved all of them in it, and that movie is just so unique to me, just so unique.
Are you excited for Valerian?
Yes,
Oh, hell yeah, I
yeah.
am.
It's another one of those
Fuck.
movies that just
Yeah.
looks like so unique,
Same
like
director.
nothing I've ever seen. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
same
I didn't
director.
realize
Isn't it
that.
set
Yeah,
same
well,
universe?
that's why I asked.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I just thought okay.
I thought
cool.
somebody said
That's
it was
dope.
same universe as Fifth Element.
Same universe.
I don't know about
Sci-
that.
Fun fact: I've never seen The Fifth Element.
Either.
Oh, shit.
You
Should.
would love it.
I think
oh my
Valerian
God,
is
it's so good.
considered to be like a spiritual successor to
Oh, okay.
Fifth
Fair
Element.
enough.
But in a different world, essentially.
I think so. I mean, I haven't seen the movie; it's not out,
Yeah, I
and
guess
I don't
we'll
know.
see.
Like,
It looks crazy.
yeah, I guess we'll see.
It does.
It
That's
does.
why I thought you were asking, because it's kind of like it gave me those
Yeah.
same feelings that I felt when I
Yeah.
saw The Fifth Element. Where I was
Luc
like, whoa, this is
Besson?
so different than anything.
Luc Besson.
Um,
He also did Leon the Professional.
Dude, that movie's so sick.
I love Leon the
So-
Professional.
so
Spoiler alert, that's
sick.
on one of my other lists. But and then so after that, District 9. District 9 was one of those movies where I was talking to Noel about this the other day. Like some of my favorite movies are movies where the humans are the antagonists, just because I feel like it's
We are?
good. Yeah, we are, and it's good for, I think, like filmmakers and just mass media in general to sort of like let people see that sometimes, like see that we are not these perfect godlike beings, and there are other species and other beings that suffer from our actions and things like that. And regardless of all that too, like just the effects like on the prawns and everything, like they were so realistic looking. Like, I just thought,
Oh my god!
just another great movie to help you like realize your humanity and just realize like, hey, it's not all about humans all the time.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. And then specifically John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. I absolutely,
my
I
God.
love that movie.
That's one
like,
of my dad's favorite movies of all time.
It's so good. I just
Is it really your dad's favorite
scary.
movie?
yeah,
Just
no,
saying
that was
Yeah, well-
like my actual father, not my stupid thing that I say.
John Carpenter's like one of my favorite
So the real
directors.
one.
Like
Yeah.
like when I look back on some of my favorite movies, like he's directed like most of them. Like
Oh,
I just
wow.
I
Wow.
love like his use of like practical effects. And granted, this is all like his old like 80s action movies, like
Yeah.
J. Carps.
like They Live and An American Werewolf in London and other ones that I'm probably gonna forget. So
Escape from
Escape from New York. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So just I don't know. Something about his movies, like he always did such a good job of incorporating practical effects and telling these really interesting stories while still having like a message throughout all of his films. And The Thing I thought was a really good example of
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
One of
So
my
I've
favorite
actually-
aspects of just real quick
No, you're
about
good.
The Thing is that you never see the
Yeah,
thing.
you never
don't
see it.
the thing.
Nope, you just see when it like infects other people.
Yeah.
And just what it does
and it
to
wasn't
people.
until the end. Like,
yeah.
it is scary
That,
as fuck.
yes,
And the craziest
yes.
thing
I love it though. It's
is
so
that
good.
they didn't have CG stuff. It was all
No,
practical.
it was yes. That's what makes it so great.
Animatronics.
Yes.
Special effects.
Dude,
makeup.
I
holy fuck.
I rewatched that movie like probably like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like for the first time after not seeing it maybe 10 years, and
Yeah.
like the effects still hold
They
up.
hold
Still
up, man.
hold
Like
up.
everything's
Still-
It's scary,
Dude,
man.
Yeah, they
it's
still
scary.
that
hold up.
surgery scene. Holy
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, like I get queasy at
Yeah.
certain points still, and I'm
I
just
don't
like,
wanna watch
okay,
this.
it's
Hey,
really
Yeah,
good.
I usually don't
It's
get
so good,
uneasy.
though.
I get
Point.
uneasy
Nah.
watching that movie.
Yeah,
It's
you're
so
good.
good.
If you
though.
like South Park, you'll like this.
So you
It's so
suck.
good. I don't watch South Park,
Yeah.
so I didn't get the joke.
So it might be my turn. So it's very hot in here, and the camera died because of how hot it is in here. I can't wait to show you guys the tour of our studio.
We love Vegas weather.
Oh, it's so great. It's so grand.
So my top 5 favorite sci-fi movies are, and I'm just going to explain them as I go down the list. So Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Because this movie is awesome and everything about it is awesome. The action is awesome. The narrative is awesome. The villain is awesome. Everything, like, it's time travel done right. And everything about Terminator is awesome. I mean,
Dope.
Yeah.
Wow,
dude,
you really
like,
that
Terminator,
movie.
I
Terminator,
concur.
dude.
I concur.
That was pretty much like my review. It was awesome.
Terminator was late 80s or was
You
that
concur?
90s?
That was,
I-
that was
I
late
concur.
80s,
I
I
concur.
think.
Late 80s?
Yeah.
I think Terminator 2 is
89?
I
I'll
concur.
find out.
89?
I think it was
90?
late 80s, I think, but I could be wrong.
I'll double check.
89.
So I feel like Terminator 2 Judgment Day
Oh,
is
1991, even
1991.
later.
Okay.
The year I was born.
Either
year-
way, I feel like it's a culmination of all
Things great.
the experiences that were learned during the 80s creating action films, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
So like all the ideas that you could possibly obtain from the 80s regarding action films was integrated into Terminator 2 for just pure awesomeness.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
James Cameron. He knows what he's
Yeah.
doing.
That is
It
James
does.
Cameron.
He
Dude,
did a
and of
good
all
job.
the things to like push the boundaries for in CG, a full-bodied reflective mirror character is one of the hardest things to do.
How?
Even
Really?
today,
How?
anything with highly reflective surfaces is still hard to do.
which is
today.
why it
That's
actually
true.
still looks decent. And
Yeah.
it doesn't look amazing.
does.
It still looks dated, but it actually doesn't look.
It doesn't look bad. You
It
watch
could
and be
look
like, wow.
worse.
Yeah. Well, at the time they didn't have motion capture, so like of course the animation is a little off when he's walking, but you're animating by hand on like MS DOS.
Yeah, dude.
God.
When you see
MS-DOS.
Oh, Lord.
when you see Sarah Connor
Windows
at the end,
95.
Sarah Connor,
She's so cool.
and she takes a shotgun at the end. She's like, boosh, and she's like, dude, that was the first time I ever saw anything like that. I was like, oh,
that
this
would
is cool.
that would actually be another thing I would say about that movie that I don't think any of us have said yet, but another movie with a strong female protagonist.
Hell
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like that. Yeah, Sarah Connor was
Yeah.
fucking badass.
Oh my God, Sarah Connor
She
was
so cool.
so badass.
She was very inspirational.
The next one is Interstellar. I mean, just kind of like what Noel says, that film was so visually interesting
And
that
like the audio too, dude. Just
everything about
my
it.
Oh yeah, the sound was crazy.
Just like,
Dude,
The-
there are shots in
Yeah.
that movie where you're just like, oh, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
love when
nothing.
it would like show the scenes like in the ships, and then it pans like outside the ship, and you're inside the ship, outside the ship, and just like
What the
what
fuck?
they're doing means nothing. They're so small.
So small.
Yeah,
next
so
to
small.
Saturn.
Dude, when me and Nolan, hashtag a friend Dakota, saw the first showing, the premiere in 70mm print IMAX.
So
Oh,
jealous.
so jealous.
jealous.
That must have been amazing.
The shot of Saturn. We're all sitting in our seats. Even the entire audience. You could hear the audience just go, whoa. Saturn. And then you see the ship, the Endurance, just flown by across the screen. Mind you, this is a 70-foot screen. So you see the ship clearly and
That's not even
large
that
on the
big.
frame. But like, you're what? You're in space.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like, I look at black holes and wormholes differently now.
Oh,
and
that-
it's like,
yeah.
it makes sense when you show a visual, but like we've grown up looking at the illustration of a black hole as a funnel,
Yeah.
when of course it would be
The-
it would be
the
spherical.
two
It would be
things folding over.
Yeah.
And cutting through.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That was that explanation of how a black hole works. Like,
Have you seen it? You've
Yeah.
seen
is
it?
fantastic.
Dude, and like what was it? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember, but was it a sun that was being absorbed by a black hole, and that's what that yellow spiraling light was around the black hole?
So when
What was that?
So
You
when,
saw the
when
movie.
a star collapses, the gas spirals.
Oh, so it was a
it was
dying
prob-
star.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that was crazy.
Yeah.
The part
It was
where
a supermassive black hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Interstellar, just a little bit. But the moment where they were on the planet and they were just there a little too long,
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
God,
all
the
of a
time
sudden-
went by.
all the time
Oh,
went by, and you're
God.
just like, oh my God, like this is
no.
This
That
this
movie
is
changed.
horrible.
That was
This
heartbreaking.
is such a
Just
tragedy. What just
a
happened right
little
now?
too
God.
long.
The,
Like,
the
dude,
part,
oh, yeah.
like, I'm not like this is potentially a little spoilerish, but like the part where he finds out the reason why he got sent out there was never to be the reason in the first place,
Yeah.
and that he
Yeah.
literally just left everyone behind to die. Like
Damn.
that shook me.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Yeah.
that whole part.
I was shook.
I was shook.
So, I gotta say that the second most stressful film I've ever seen in my life was District 9, and that is on my list.
Nice.
Yeah.
I told you guys, I'm pretty sure I've said this on the air before, but in case I haven't, my opinion of District 9 was I saw the trailers and I didn't really know what to expect. And I don't think Vicus was ever really like showcased in the trailer, at least not in the trailers that I watched. So when I watched District 9, I didn't know Vicus was the main character. And especially because he comes out and he's just like this really like dorky dude.
Yeah, he's a
and
dweeb.
super strong. He's got this super strong accent,
Yeah.
very high voice, mustache, is very nerdy looking. You're like, this isn't the main character, right? This is not a traditional Hollywood main character. And
He's
so
gonna
I was
die,
like-
right?
Yeah. So the whole time I was like, all right, so he's probably gonna die like at some point at this point, and then we're gonna be introduced to the main character. And so I thought he was gonna die for the first full half of the movie. At least half of the movie.
That is
if
so
if not
weird.
more. I
That's
thought
such
he
a-
was gonna die.
That's such a weird way to view the movie.
And I was
Like,
just
I
like,
can't
when
even-
is he gonna die? And finally I was like, oh no, he's not gonna die. This is the main character.
Yeah,
He
he's the
ain't
main
going
character.
nowhere. Yeah.
And I was then eventually I went from like He's gonna die. When's he gonna die? When is he going to die?
Yeah.
To, oh my God, please don't die. Please don't let this guy die. I want him to live now.
so
He's
close.
earned it.
Yeah.
He deserves it. Let him live.
You're so close.
Yeah.
So close to the end. Always constantly almost dying.
Yeah.
But wait, he's not going to die. He's the main character. Wait,
Yeah.
or is it one of those movies where the main character dies? Or does it? I don't know. It keeps going.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. That is a prime example of excellent marketing,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
dude.
Congrats to District 9 and Neil Blomkamp because that shit was sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
I was so stoked at the end of that movie, and I was with some people who were like, "Oh, I fucking hated that," and I was just like, "You're stupid," because that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
What?
brilliant.
If you didn't like the movie, that's fine. I was just like, it was. I liked
God,
it.
that movie was like that movie. I think came out around the time my birthday was, and I remember like my dad was like, "What do you want to do for your birthday? What do you want to do for your birthday?" I was like, "I want to see District 9. That's what I want to do for my birthday," and that's what we did for my birthday.
Dope.
We saw District
Nice.
9.
That
and it was
movie is
great.
disciplined filmmaking.
Yeah.
yes.
So good.
Dude, did
It's
you
so
guys see the
creative.
preview, like the pictures that Neil Blomkamp posted on his Instagram about the new movie he's doing?
Oh, is it a
aliens-
short film or is it?
No, short. Yeah, my bad. Short film. A new short film he's doing, and the aliens look fucking crazy.
Dude, his
Yeah,
just
his art
vision.
Yeah,
Why
his art
is-
so
vision.
unique.
Tell me why this man did not do Alien Covenant.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell me why this man didn't do the Halo movie that never happened.
That's
That
what
should
I'm
happen.
saying.
That's what I'm saying, boo.
Dude, somebody get, please, for the love of God. All right, Elysium was okay. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it
Elysium
either.
was dope, dude.
It was cool. I
Elysium
liked
was,
Elysium.
It was cool.
Elysium
I
was
didn't
cool.
love it. I didn't hate it. It was cool.
That was a cool world.
Yeah,
they
it was
set up
cool.
in
That was a
cool
I like
world.
that. Yeah.
But give the guy Halo, please.
man.
Please, I would like to have
Elysium was
Halo,
dope,
please.
man. It's Matt Damon.
give him Halo.
the fight scenes in
Damon.
that movie were really cool too.
Yes. So,
What if he did Mass Effect?
oh my God, don't play with my heart.
Jeremy, do not play with my
heart.
feelings like
Don't.
that.
Right
you can't
now.
You
say
shut your
those-
mouth.
I am triggered.
Shut it right
okay?
now. All right.
What if
Shut your
guys,
mouth and you're talking to me.
guys?
Okay.
What if he did Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Oh,
Ow!
Dude, it would be horrifying.
Boy, don't even fuck with me right now.
Okay.
All right, so that leads me to the most stressful film of all time. Thank you, Noel. Sunshine.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
There's no way in hell that could not be on my top 5
Yeah.
favorite sci-fi films. Do I ever want to watch it again? That was the one movie that I was like, I never want to watch this movie ever again. But damn it, was that cool?
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Damn
That was
it.
definitely an honorable mention for me, for sure. Yeah, it definitely was.
It was an experience. Like that's the thing about Sunshine
Yeah.
is it was such an experience in filmmaking and it was something I've never experienced. But
Yeah.
if you guys haven't seen Sunshine and you want to be super stressed out, like you live a really comfortable life and you're just like, yeah, I'd like to stress the fuck out right now.
in a
that-
safe environment where nothing can actually hurt me.
Yeah, if you're just like, yeah, I'd like to see what this feels like, watch Sunshine, get invested, turn the lights off, get really into it. Put up, make some popcorn you're probably not going to eat, and snuggle up with a significant other that you're probably going to be squeezing so tightly that you'll cut off circulation. Because that movie is tense.
Yep. Yes.
Tense.
Hey, Tony, have you
were
seen it?
You guys were talking about it for like days after
Yeah.
watching the movie.
It was
Yeah.
an experience,
Yeah.
man. Like I went to bed like sweating that night. I was like,
sweating.
Papa Monty, I'm sweating.
So me and Ange were like on our date night for our year anniversary, and we were literally talking about Sunshine on the car ride home.
yeah.
Awesome.
It was just like
Yep.
talking about our ideas of like how everything
Yeah.
kind of happened and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and just theorizing.
Tony,
Yeah.
you need to watch Sunshine.
I know, dude.
Better
I know.
pucker up, boy.
Yeah, pucker
Oh,
up, dude. It's
God,
gonna
yeah.
be real painful.
It's
So-
it's a doozy.
Pucker up.
As
My-
that news. Know how we do's it in the 6?
Yes, in the 6th, which reminds me of my 5th favorite sci-fi film, which is all right, Star Wars.
Rogue One. Rogue
The
One.
Force
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Awakens.
Rogue
It's-
One.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah,
I
I
knew
was
Rogue One.
like,
I knew it.
All
He
right,
likes
so-
war
I
movies.
know
He likes
you,
war movies.
girl.
So here's the thing about Rogue One. And here's my opinion. I was just talking to Carissa about it because she was like, no. She was like, episode 5 is the best Star Wars.
Yeah.
Unequivocally, it is the best.
Yeah, she's like,
Right?
yeah, no. The best.
Ichiban.
But Here's my opinion on that. Story-wise, Empire Strikes Back is excellent, but it builds upon the story that was showcased in Episode 4. But I think Episode 5 suffers from a little bit just being a little dated. Visually, it's not as stunning as it was when I was 7, when the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Some
Still,
of the dialogue.
yeah, still amazing, and still what I would probably consider the best made Star Wars film. One could argue. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying one could argue.
No, you could argue that. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you could argue it.
But the reason why Rogue One is my favorite is it's self-contained, takes place in its own self-contained world with self-contained characters that has glimpses of the larger world. We see worlds that we've never seen before, and the modern CGI gives me the Star Wars experience that I thought I was having as a 7-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
what I thought I was looking at when I was 7.
Nice.
it was like the perfect Star Wars like one-off, really. Like it was. That's what it was.
To me, Rogue One was the Star Wars movie I've been waiting for since I was a kid, watching Episode 4 and 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really had to think about it too, because I was like, Force Awakens,
Yeah.
Empire, or
I definitely
Rogue
think
One.
5 was the most solidly told
Yeah.
Star Wars story.
If I were to put any of the Star Wars movies on my list, it would have been Empire.
But I'd say
Definitely.
Rogue One was definitely the one that I've been waiting for personally. Just the look
the
and
most
feel.
It was just, dude, it was
Yeah.
so epic. God, it was
Dude,
so
and
epic.
that's the cinematography for me. Fuck! Anytime
Yeah.
you see the Death Star, holy shit, that
Yeah,
thing
dude.
is scary.
Yeah, dude.
And literally every frame is a painting.
The Death Star was a character in that film, and that was one of the aspects that I loved about it,
Yes.
because in the original trilogy, that was like the Death Star, the Death Star, the Death Star, and then you saw it in Rogue One, and they captured it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I mean, and if you haven't seen Rogue One, dude, the cameos, bro.
Also,
Yeah.
just the way the Death Star operated. Like,
Yeah.
you see the Death Star blow up a planet from the surface of the planet. We see it happening. We're like,
Yeah. It's like,
oh,
oh shit.
what is
like,
happening right now?
oh,
There were parts where I was like, is the
shit.
planet blowing up, or is this just causing massive damage? And then no, it's like, oh no,
That's
the planet
oh.
is dying.
Oh.
Also, the fact that every planet was super unique.
Yep.
We got a
Yeah.
lot of retreading the same water in Episode 7, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
desert planet, snow planet, like
Yeah.
This planet, that planet.
Woods planet.
yeah, it's just like we've seen these planets before, but like we got to in Rogue One, we see the
Jedi planet.
the Jedi planet.
Yeah.
We see the freaking oh my god, there's so many different
What was that whole tropical planet with like a shit ton of water everywhere?
Scarif?
yeah.
Scarif is crazy.
I
It's
was
a
like, whoa,
it's
Scarif
a it's a
is dope.
beach planet.
Yeah.
Which I heard Episode 7 or
8.
Last Jedi 8
9.
is gonna have some crazy locations.
Yes, cool.
Some
Dope.
really unique ones.
I like it.
Locations
But-
are tight.
Can't wait.
Hey,
I like
hey, how's it going, Tony?
Locations
over
are
there. Real quick, I think I love Rogue One so much is because I'd like to think that if I ever made a Star Wars movie, that's the kind of movie that I would make.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
that would be dope.
I'm drawing influences, and that's like the way that Rogue One looks. I aspire to have my stuff kind of look like that, or like impact that
Yeah.
way.
Nice.
Visually, I think I'm on the same level. I think the story, personally, I personally like tales of, I don't know, like a story of a character achieving something, like
Me too.
able to accomplish like their goal. So like something like Rogue One is I'll do stuff like that, but really only to throw people off. Just be like, but that's not the story I like to tell.
That's definitely the kind of story I like to tell.
Yeah.
The sacrificial misfit story.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, we're not necessarily supposed to do this, but we're going to do it because it's for
Yeah.
the better of humanity.
yeah.
Yeah, like you learn yourself. Okay,
Yeah, man,
maybe
that's-
I'm like the world or universe,
That's the
galaxy
true. Yeah,
is
that's,
bigger than just me,
Yeah,
and
kill
I think
kill one, save 1,000 or whatever,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
No, not. I
The
mean,
well,
needs
not-
of the
it's
many
the
outweigh
private.
the
It's
needs
the
of the
Saving
few.
Private Ryan theist. It's like that whole like. it doesn't matter if I die as long as he or she lives, right? It's and man,
It's heavy.
Heavy, Doc.
Heavy, Doc.
Ooh, heavy.
Yeah.
You're just like
Something wrong with the gravitational pull of the Earth in the future? What is this? Why do you keep saying that?
Yeah.
What is that? Heavy?
why is
right.
everything so heavy where you come from?
Clearly, we're not going to have time to list off all of our top fives. Did not realize that this would take as long as it did.
This
We
went
almost
on a lot longer.
we almost did
Thought.
top tens.
Yeah.
So Tony, why don't you wrap us up on,
Oh
on
yeah,
your
sure.
top fives?
Yeah, let's do's it and the who's it. So my top five, and not in any
Sci-Fives.
particular of sci-fi top five. Not in any particular order. Prometheus.
Okay.
I think mostly because of how big of a Ridley Scott fan, and it was kind of like, I was a
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott fan right when Prometheus was being like built up. So like that's when I started to really think about like which director did this movie that I'm watching right now, right? Like that's when I started to do that. And the more I would search for movies, I was like, man, I really like Ridley Scott movies that I didn't even notice that I liked. And that's when like that first Prometheus trailer came out, and it was like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, the
I remember
first
that,
time I saw
yeah.
that, it was in theaters, and I didn't know that Prometheus was happening.
yeah, they kept that a pretty good secret for quite a
Yeah.
while.
And so I didn't realize what I was watching in theaters at the moment. I was like, this is eerily familiar. Oh.
And like the little lines start showing up. And
I
you're
was
like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
I clicked my scene and was
Wayland.
like, wait, is this Alien? What is happening?
Yeah.
Yep.
What
Yeah,
am
dude.
I watching
Yeah,
right
dude.
now?
I remember it's like when you saw another honorable mention was Gravity. That's like another sci-fi honorable mention. Like when I saw that trailer, dude, they came out like really close together, right?
Yeah.
So like you get through Prometheus, there's no more of those trailers, and then the Gravity trailer comes out, and you're just like, okay, what? Did I just? I'm not seeing that movie. Dude, I'm not seeing that movie.
I'm seeing that
Hell no.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Have you seen Gravity then? But you haven't seen Sunshine.
I have not seen.
Okay,
Sunshine.
I want to know which is more stressful, Gravity or Sunshine. 'Cause
Gravity-
I haven't seen Gravity. but
Gravity
I've
was a
seen
lot because it
Sunshine,
never
so-
the stress never stops. Like it's like
Neither
a
does Gravity.
no. That's
neither
not-
neither does
No, no,
Sunshine.
I
actually-
haven't seen Sunshine, so I have no idea.
I think Sunshine is more tense.
I think
Thank
Sunshine.
God, I can
stressful.
actually watch Gravity then.
Yeah, not have like an
Gravity-
aneurysm.
Only because watching Gravity and watching the way it's set up and just that style of movie, you already can kind of get the feel, okay, she's probably going to live. So you
I
kind of
don't
go
know,
into
man. There was
there were some really stressful
there was
moments
some
in
moments
there.
and you're just like, she's not getting through this. There's
But
no way.
to me-
This sucks.
But at least to me, Gravity had a distinctive style, and the laws of the universe in that movie
Okay.
is already laid out plainly for you. Like this is
It's not the unknown. There's
Yeah, it's
no,
not
there's
the
no
unknown.
factor.
exactly.
That's
It's
integrating
not the
into it.
unknown, and it's set in like real life Earth and space. You know,
Yeah,
it's
totally.
not like crazy sci-fi like Star Wars style or Sunshine level. Where Sunshine, you're like, okay, they're going on a mission to the moon or to the sun. That no one's doing that right now. So that's clearly like futuristic
Yeah, how you
sci-fi
do that?
type thing.
That's really
So
hot.
there's definitely a level of unknown there because the laws of the universe in that movie is different from our real life. Laws of the universe and physics and gravity is pretty set to our
Straight, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, yeah.
pretty straightforward. So you kind of
But then,
Like,
then
you-
again, it's straightforward. But then you're like, oh god, it's so straightforward. Oh god,
it's too straightforward.
It's too much.
You're not gonna survive
Yeah.
from that right
Yeah.
now. What just happened?
yeah, it's like, wait a minute. So, oh no, yeah. So
I want to comment on Prometheus really quick. I know Danny hasn't seen it, so I won't spoil anything. But the reason why I honorable mention for me as well, but it's not on my list. But the reason why I love that movie so much is because of it, the origins at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh,
You're just
yeah.
like, oh
That was
shit.
really cool.
yeah, dude.
Damn.
The engineers, as they call them,
Yeah.
you have no idea what this means, but the engineers, man, and that's another detail of that entire universe that no one understood. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, I hated Prometheus, I hated this, I hated that, and I was just like, but can't you just see the like positivity in it?
But can you
But
like
can't
not
you
be
just
a
like
hater?
try to see like what he's trying to do, please?
Wow.
And that's how I felt. Like I am such a fan of that series that I was able to suspend my disbelief enough to not be too critical of it and to just throw myself into the movie. That's one of the reasons why Prometheus is on my list.
Cool.
It completely changed how I saw sci-fi thriller. Like,
Buddy.
yes, whatever the hell that was. Tron Legacy.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, I still haven't seen
Ooh.
that.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And dude, yeah,
Why?
Jeff Bridges, ya
Oh,
boy.
I
Ya
feel
boy.
like Tron Legacy, to me at least, is what I wish Tron was. Seeing it as a kid.
Yeah, and that's why I
That
was like,
wasn't born in that era.
I was blown away. Oh my god! And it's Daft Punk, dude,
Yes.
and Hans,
Yes.
your boy Hans, bro.
Yo.
I
Killing
literally,
it.
dude. I have never seen the movie, but I have listened to that soundtrack like
Yeah?
on loop countless times. Like I know every song on that score, but I've never seen the movie.
And,
so
like,
when I
that's
see that
hilarious.
movie, I'm
The
gonna know
movie's
every song.
There's a
It's a fun
character in
movie.
Tron. Yeah, there's a character in Tron Legacy that draws a lot of influence from David Bowie.
Really?
Yeah,
that you
So
would
I'm gonna
love.
love them.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So like that
the-
whole
yeah.
that movie is an experience. That movie is an experience, and like you see Rensler like right in the beginning, you're like, oh dude.
Oh, I want to see it so bad.
Fun, bro. Dude, the costume and the production design and the visual effects. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
cool.
And
That was
Cillian
so
Murphy's
dope.
in
Cillian
that,
Murphy
too.
hella makes a cameo in
Yeah,
that movie.
well, he was
Killian.
technically Killian, yeah.
Killian.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian.
Not
Cillian,
It's not
Killian.
Cillian, no.
Killian.
That's not a name. Cillian's not a name.
Hey,
Cillian.
Cillian's a
Anything can
Be a
name.
name, bro.
Cillian.
Sidewalk
Is he
can be a name.
Sicilian?
Dude,
You shut up.
There's someone on the internet who posted that their name is Ladasha.
Hey, dude. Hey, that's cool for them. Cillian's not a name.
Could be a name.
I
Cillian
feel
could
like
If
be
your
a
name
name.
is Cillian,
I feel like I
send
could
Tony a
totally,
tweet.
I could totally be wrong.
Hashtag I am Cillian.
Hashtag I am
If your name
Cillian.
is not,
Hashtag-
if your name isn't actually Cillian,
Hashtag
We'll just
we
do it
are
anyway.
Cillian.
We are
anyway.
all
We
Cillian.
are-
or
Cillian.
hashtag someone is Cillian.
We are
Have fun.
Cillian.
Hashtag I
Have fun.
hate Danny.
Make sure it's only directed at Walk on Tony on Twitter, please.
Yes.
Tag him in pictures of people named
God
Cillian
damn it! Will you just let me finish my top five?
on Instagram. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. So, Tron Legacy, just in general, there's a few times where it is almost a perfect mix of what film should be. It has every single detail that you should see in film. Production, post, composition, everything, the setup, the cinematography, the acting, all of it at once. You're just like, dude, yes. Where have you been my entire life? I love it so much. And
Nice, dude.
the next one would have to be what happened to it? Where'd it go?
Real quick fun fact about Tron Legacy. I watched the behind the scenes for it, and that's how I learned how to do spectral noise reduction.
That's pretty cool.
Just because
They don't know what that is.
Spectral
So,
noise.
there was a scene in Tron Legacy in the White Room where there was a clock on the wall, and throughout the entire dialogue track, you can hear the clock ticking. And so they had to do some spectral noise reduction, which means they open up the waveform of the audio, and you can pinpoint where it looks like one of those sonar radar graphs where it's just a bunch of colors, and the brighter the parts are at the bottom, the is where the loudest sounds are. So you can kind of see where each of the clock ticking is, and you just highlight just that little square
Oh
and
my
just
God.
delete it, and then fill it in with the rest of the ambient audio.
Oh, man.
my
That is so tedious.
God.
It is hella tedious, but that's how I was able to do a lot of noise reduction and click removal in a lot of our videos.
That's
Damn.
dope, dude. Thank you for that. That was awesome. So
You're welcome.
the other one. Okay. The other one was The Matrix.
Nice.
Yeah, The Matrix. Yeah. Holy shit. That first sequence.
So why do you like that movie specifically more as a sci-fi than an action movie? What about the sci-fi aspect do you love
I think
so
I
much?
kind of have to go off what Jeremy was saying, that I remember being a kid and not knowing what to categorize it as. And I was like, and my family, like, oh yeah, that's a sci-fi. It's like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. How? And they're like, well, because it's like, you know, like the Earth isn't the same anymore, and it's like, oh, it's post-apocalyptic, so it's not sci-fi. And they're like, well, it's based off of electronics. So I was like, it could be like an expression of how a movie can be put into a genre, right? But that's not sci-fi. So I think the sci-fi aspect of it was the fact that they were I don't even really know how it could be.
Sci-fi,
Doesn't
dude.
anything that takes place in the future categorize as
I categorize as sci-fi.
Yeah, it's
totally.
right.
Yeah, it
but
does.
I feel like it was hard for me to figure that out, and that was what the cool thing was, is that it was a perfect mix between getting thrown into the Matrix and seeing future. And then that's why I feel like a lot of people didn't like Reloaded or Revolution, was because we saw so much of that other world, at least in my opinion.
I think it was just too much about the action in those movies and not enough about like the storytelling.
Yeah, and that's where like,
because The Matrix is an excellent example of the discipline in storytelling.
yeah,
And
dude,
the
oh my god,
restraint.
they
Complemented by action.
Yes.
don't they use Matrix like the first scene as one of the best like written script scenes? Like that intro scene is one of the best introductions
Featured
to
all the
ever
time.
ever be filmed in ever. I remember ever.
Ever.
I think
Forever,
I
ever?
mean,
Forever?
It's literally one of the
Forever?
greatest things that the humanity of worlds is
Got
today.
it.
So
With
I
together.
hope that's not me. If it is me, just
What
just
is
end it.
happening?
Also, sci-fi because of the name, The Matrix.
Yeah, of course,
Like,
yes.
you're
And it was
in
hard
the
for
Matrix.
me. I remember it was super hard for me. I was like, what do you categorize this as? Like, I've never seen
Glorious.
anything.
I think the heat is making Danny delusional.
I think it's making me delusional.
Me too,
I
actually.
can't see.
Dude, there was
Punctual.
there was the part. Danny, I'm over here. Oh, sorry, you're Tony. I can't see either. No, I was kidding. So, dude, there was the part in the Matrix when Keanu is in that pod.
Keanu.
And he
Keanu.
like breaks out
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I remember being seriously fucking terrified
Yeah,
when
that
it
whole
happened.
scene.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Dude,
I
that
turned,
looks so real.
I turned
Yeah.
off the movie and I didn't finish it for several months because I was like, this is fucking scary. I don't want to watch
Dude,
this. I was 9 years old, bro. I was like, I'm not trying to watch this.
I had the same experience, but like when like the bug came out.
Yeah.
and,
Oh
like,
my
to
God.
Stomach, like I was a little kid and my dad was trying to show me that movie, and that scene I was like, I can't watch this, and I just like left.
It
Dude,
was so
I couldn't-
real.
Like I was too little.
And
taking
his,
the
didn't have
damn-
mouth, like
Ugh.
there were so many aspects of that movie where I'm just like, this is fucking
Yeah,
scary.
this is terrifying.
Them taking the thing and then just
oh God.
plugging it with the sharp
yeah.
pointy
dude.
end, just shoving it in the back of their neck
I
to
remember
to
that.
plug him in, and you're just like,
Slap him with the wind.
and they're like, then that's what plugged him in. I was like, ah,
I did not like that.
I am 9 years old. Why did my parents let me watch this? It's rated R.
I was even younger. I think I was probably like 6 or 7. Like I
Yep.
was way too little. That
You guys
shit
ever
fucked
seen
me
The
up.
Cell? You ever seen that movie with Jennifer
J-Lo,
Lopez?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like same thing as like, oh no, what's going
Shouldn't
on?
happen.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Also, the black guy was the smart tech dude in
Yeah.
Matrix.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's fucking cool.
That's hella dope.
hell yeah, your boy. Yeah, I forgot his name. He's great though.
Steve, I'm
Your
pretty
boy.
sure.
Your boy.
Wait, wasn't he the guy? Was he the guy who was in Lost?
Yes.
No, that's
No.
that's the operator that was in the second and third Matrix. The first Matrix
Oh.
was a different actor.
Okay.
Got it. So other one, Star Wars Rogue One. We already talked about why I love that. It's got all the great aspects of dark filmmaking and in a Star Wars universe. Your
Hell
boy.
yeah.
Yes. That space battle
And-
was the best.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Epic.
And then you saw Darth Vader at the end. So
D-Day.
Yellow
God,
burgers.
that
hella slay.
scene alone
The
made
Vade
the movie
God.
worth it.
Oh,
Vade,
man.
Vade God.
Yeah,
Hashtag
like-
Vade God.
Vape
Hashtag Vade God.
Vape
Nah.
Nash.
Like
What the
vape-
fuck?
I don't know.
We're just saying things now. She just threw up a gang sign.
It's an H3H3 joke. I don't know.
Vape Nash.
Vape Nash, bro.
Oh, and he's doing the I
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, when
he
you
goes
was doing
around,
the
he's like,
thing, yeah.
Vape Nash.
Yeah,
Ethan
man,
Klein,
vaping,
you're a
bro.
funny dude.
Vaping clouds, bro.
Sorry.
I'm on cloud 9.
Other one's Interstellar. Interstellar was a lot for me. That
Clear-
was a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. It was almost too much. Like
Dude,
That's
I,
almost too much.
I remember watching with Tony, and we're Audible movie watchers, we react very audibly. We're not ashamed to do that.
Yeah.
And when Tony was watching, he was like, "Oh fuck!" like dude, when the wormhole was happening, he's like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
So mad.
Dude, I was like, dude, I fucking hate this, dude. Oh,
It's so tense, and it just rumbles all around you.
And then he finally, when he's talking, I was like, no. It's like when you watch Elf and he's like, fruit spray? Oh yeah. And that end part, I was like, I was Will Ferrell at that moment. I was like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. There's a lot of that scene that you guys talked about when Be on the Planet for Too Long. When he came back and he was like, and you saw his friend, and that the one line that he says, he's like, I thought you were dead. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? What happened? What the fuck happened? You went somewhere else. We were here. How did that change? I was like, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Time is relative.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously the honorable mention was Gravity. Gravity. Oh, dude.
I want to see that one.
There was a few times where, like, where, like, you guys are in the theater, right? And you all have that proverbial sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Dude, I counted 6 times as a theater watching Gravity.
I counted 1, and that was when it ended.
Dude,
6 times.
How did you guys react to that moment where she was just floating and she missed the hook?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like everyone. I was looking around to the people who were watching. They were like, "Whoa!" Because it was I saw it at the Galaxy theaters, those theaters that had the reclining chairs. So naturally, everyone was reclined. Everyone was sitting back in their seat, just gripping everything. Yeah, dude. You had to like constantly think about, "Oh, I gotta relax." Whew. Fix myself.
that was
Relax myself.
That was like when we all watched Sunshine, that scene where he's trying to get from the payload to the little ship thing. Like we were all just like,
That
like
was that.
white knuckles.
Yeah.
Oh God, clench everything.
That was that movie where
Come on.
I had to keep reminding myself that
just
this
relax.
isn't happening to you,
Yeah.
dude.
It was hard.
Like, calm down. You're watching it happen to other people.
Yeah.
You're okay.
What were-
Relax.
You like said something during that scene. Like you like broke like for the first
Yeah, no,
time.
this one he was
what
like,
did
just
he
like
do?
he just like
Yeah.
moved. Just like
Yeah, Danny was just like.
I was sitting in front of the TV as like they were all on the couch, and I just went.
Danny was just like upset at this scene, just like.
Come on. I was at that point. I had enough. I was just like, enough.
I was so
Please, just let them fail or succeed. One of the two. Please,
you were
God,
so
let it
done.
be over.
You were done at that point.
That's funny.
I just didn't want to see any more stress.
relax your legs. Relax your legs, because you're like tensing everything up.
Yeah.
oh man.
Dude, that part, there is so many times in Gravity, that's where I did. I was just like, there was one moment, like, I think I saw it with Jesse, with my little cousin.
Eisenberg?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. And
It's crazy.
I stopped. I broke like out of what was happening to me on screen, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I just looked over. I was like, "Dude,
No.
I was, what?"
Like
And
movies
it's
like that.
that was like, how much longer? How much longer of this?
Like-
okay, we're in like an hour and a half.
Oh, it's
Fuck,
only
dude.
been 5 minutes.
I feel like movies like that constitute as like self-harm. It's just
Yeah.
like why am I doing this to myself? I don't know.
Oh, dude, why?
Peer
I can
pressure.
attest to Tony's reaction because we watched Gone Girl together, and just the opening monologue, the dialogue with what's her name lying on Ben Affleck's chest.
Yeah.
Just that opening dialogue, Tony was always like, "What?"
Yeah, dude. I just like looked up. I was like, "What?" And I think I did that. I just like because he was to my left. I just looked over. What?
What?
What is this? What's this dialogue we're talking? Like what?
Yeah.
He's when I think about my wife, I think about her head, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
it's what you.
Aw, that's sweet.
And it's
I haven't seen this, so
And then
I
it's-
don't know.
what's
No,
the line
no,
he
Tony,
goes?
stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop.
I don't
stop.
know. I'm sorry. I haven't
You
seen
need
Gone
to
Girl.
see.
I
Yes.
know. I
You
heard
need to
I would
watch
really
Gone
like
Girl.
it. Haven't seen it
so
yet.
you, like the setup of. Oh my god.
Yes.
So that's your
Right.
top 5.
Top five.
Top five.
Okay.
Top five.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We wanted to answer fan questions and we wanted to talk about all the other stuff too. But we are pretty far in, yeah.
And we're also about to die from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, it's been about
great.
an hour and 20 minutes. It's about 120 degrees in the place we're shooting this right now, and we're gonna close out. So if you guys want to support us and help us record in a place that's not 120 degrees, support us on Patreon. Goes a long way. And check out our t-shirts available on teespring.com/ismahawk. If you donate to Patreon, you can see you can get an awesome merch code and use that for those shirts and other stuff. Also, we dropped a bunch of dope stuff on Patreon this month. We have a newsletter going over what we're working on, sort of exclusively for our hardcore audience who wants to donate for that. Actually, before we close out, I wanted to. I should have done this earlier, and I'm sorry. It was very hot. But everybody who has supported us on the $20 tier will now be listed on the screen as we're closing out the show. So right down there, you're going to see everybody's name who donated to the $20 and above tier. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you every single one of our patrons for supporting us. We actually hung out with the CEO of Patreon at VidCon, and he is like the nicest dude.
That's
Dude,
dope.
super nice.
Yeah.
Hey, nice people are tight.
Yeah.
We showed
Nice
him,
people are like
super
my
nice
favorite kind of people.
And super genuine.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We
Yes.
showed him Joker versus Joker, and he was flipping out as he was watching it. It was the coolest thing. I was just like, hey, man, this is what we do. And it's because of your platform. And he was like, it seemed like he was really happy to hear that.
That's awesome,
He had, like, his platform had allowed or contributed to us being able to do that, and the amazing people who support us on that platform. So thank you guys. We have a ton of awesome stuff, and we're also going to be adding even more awesome stuff next month. So definitely check out our Patreon, support us on there. It goes a long way, and we really appreciate you guys, every single one of you. So thank you guys so much. On that note, let's all go take ice cold showers.
Showies.
On that note,
Together.
For showies.
we love you.
Hearts.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
Catch you on the flip.